Yes, it is true the United States also makes money by printing money. That benefit goes to the American people when we provide more services or when... Yes, it is true the United States also makes money by printing money. That benefit goes to the American people when we provide more services or when we tax them less. And the intent of the billionaire bros in crypto is to appropriate for themselves that literal money-making machine. We are told that cryptocurrency is very innovative. Look at the incredible financial innovation of Enron and WorldCom and reflect on the fact that I don't believe that Satoshi Nakamoto was innovative.
We've got some sound here. Do we have sound? Please let me know in the chat. Are we active now? Let me know if there are any problems. Let's start this all again. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday. So if you are new here, please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Please let me know that we have sound this morning. Still no sound. What about now? Let me know what's going on. Let's see what's going on for the price of Bitcoin here today. So we have Bitcoin sat at $29,470, up 0.6% in the last 24 hours. We also have Ethereum sat at $1,875 to 0.98% increase within the last 24 hours. We've just got some more sound working. Thank you very much for letting me know in the chat there. So we have seen a move to the upside for both Bitcoin and Ethereum within the last 24 hours. Not massively, but a little bit. Now we have seen those interest rate announcements yesterday, and that has really impacted the prices there. And what we've seen is we saw the interest rate hike by 25 basis points. Now, what does this mean? Now, obviously, yesterday we saw a lot of volatility in the markets. To be honest, not as much as we usually do, but we will be analysing that, seeing what's been happening with that in today's cryptocurrency news. If you did not go over to that Martini Guy's channel, we did a live stream together on his channel yesterday on this announcement discussing what was happening there. So make sure to check that out if you have not already. Let's see what's going on in the news then. Let's start this all again. Since you couldn't hear the first time, we'll have a take two. So first of all, we have this congressman.
Yes, it is true the United States also makes money by printing money. That benefit goes to the American people when we provide more services or when we tax them less. And the intent of the billionaire bros in crypto is to appropriate for themselves that literal money-making machine.
So hopefully you can hear that. If you can't, I will just explain to you what's happening here. No luck with sound in the last couple of days. We also
we are told that cryptocurrency is very innovative. Look at the incredible financial innovation of Enron and WorldCom and reflect on the fact that I don't believe that Satoshi Nakamoto was innovative.
So what we've seen in those videos is, first of all, he said Bitcoin's creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, who he could not pronounce the name correctly for, was not innovative. Now, I would say that this guy is pretty innovative, creating a technology like Bitcoin, which has gained a huge amount of adoption since its inception. We also have heard him say that the US makes money by printing money there as well. So we will talk about that in a little bit more detail in just a second. But what we should do right now is like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Let's see what's going on here. Everyone's hearing now correctly. Thank you very much. Let's see what's going on here. So let's pull this up this morning. Let's talk about the interest rate announcement that was occurring yesterday. So we've seen the Federal Reserve increase interest rates by 25 basis points. Now, we all know that the markets do not like high interest rates in the long term. High interest rates means people are taking out less loans, people are spending less money, and with that, people are moving away from risk on assets like cryptocurrency, like the stock market. All of these things usually see a decline with increasing interest rates. Now, yesterday, we did see that announcement occur, and as usual, it created a huge amount of volatility on the 1-minute chart for Bitcoin. We see this every single time. We saw that actually it was highly anticipated to see a 25 basis point increase. It was like 98% expected, or something very, very high. So it was typically, you would say, and I believe, already priced into the market value of Bitcoin. But still, we saw that volatility. We saw Bitcoin wick out a load of traders when they were, if you were trading with high leverage, you would have just been liquidated from those very volatile conditions in the market. But we have now seen Bitcoin start to come back to its normal levels of volatility, or the levels it has had for the last month. We did see it try and break up to the upside to 20. Let's pull up the chart here actually, to 29.5 in the last 24 hours, but it didn't really succeed in that. We got all the way up to 29,566, and we are now back in that range that we were pre-interest rate levels. So we've not seen too much movement here. Somebody tweeted this morning, is Bitcoin the new stable coin? And it seems to feel that way. We've been in a $2,000 range for a month here. We've had this break to the downside, and yet we've still stayed within this price range. We're at 28.8 right now at the bottom here of this local low since down in June the 20th, and the only high we've seen is 31.8. So we're stuck in this range of $3,000 still. $3,000 price range from the 21st of June is so poor for Bitcoin. We usually see so much more volatility. We usually see a lot more movement, and that is what traders like me like to see. So when we see this sideways action, it's pretty disappointing. We want some movement, and we want some positive movement. But until we get that, we could expect some more sideways action here. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the markets this morning. No, we're not in the morning anymore, this afternoon, and see what is going on. And it says, seriously, Bitcoin is now acting like a stable coin. It really, really is. But when that Bitcoin halving comes around, I think things could all change. So we're staying tuned till then. Until then, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. And make sure to tune in every single weekday so you don't miss out on these live streams. And make sure to share the stream with your friends. We've been doing this live stream throughout the entire bear market. We started these back in November last year. It's now been 7 months, and we have not missed a day of doing these live streams, and I hope you guys appreciate it. And if you do, please make sure to give us a big like there. Let's see what's going on here. So crypto assets recognized as property by Singapore's high courts. That's a massive improvement there. It kind of validates the industry in a sense. We've seen the regulators and the government in the UK looking to classify cryptocurrency as gambling. And then in other regions like Singapore, they're looking to classify crypto assets as property. So you can see the differing perspectives on the industry there. I mean, the gambling thing didn't actually continue through in the UK, but you can see the differing perspectives and how poor the UK government, or some members of the UK government, are looking at cryptocurrency, and how in Singapore they're looking at it in this new light. But let's continue here on to the next article, because we have a whole lot of news here today. First of all, Binance withdraws crypto license application with Germany's regulator. We are seeing this with Binance in many different regions right now. They are under regulatory scrutiny in the US, and with that, They need to reorganize themselves and refocus on what industries and what regions they are best to focus their efforts in. And you can see here that they have chosen to pull out of registering in Germany as a virtual asset service provider. But let's move on to the next one. Let's see what else is in store here. So South Korea unveils investigation team to combat crypto crimes. So the new team is an intelligence unit comprising 30 persons from the judicial, financial, tax and customs agencies. The South Korean government has unveiled an investigation team to combat crypto crimes and illicit operations as such activities continue to surge. Now, a lot of people look at the cryptocurrency space and think that it's just used for illicit transactions, for creating problems. We saw the BlackRock CEO in 2017 say it was an index for money laundering, and that is an opinion that some people continue to hold to this date in 2023. I think these people need to do more research into the assets, but while they don't, they have this opinion. Now, we are aware that people do there is crime in cryptocurrency. We can't say there isn't crime in cryptocurrency. And people wanting to combat this is something that we should be on board with. We want to see them be filtered out of the space. But it's not as high as some people think it is, I would say. Let's continue on to the next article here. Are you an Apple user? Because this new malware aims to steal your crypto via fake blockchain games. So, Sentinel-1 noted that Apple's malware blocking service XProtect currently does not appear to prevent the execution of Railst. Now, this is a malware which is looking to steal your cryptocurrency. How often do we say this? Make sure to store your cryptocurrency somewhere safe. Now, you have to be very, very careful. This is a self-custody industry. If you're storing your cryptocurrencies on centralized exchanges, you run risks because you don't have custody of your own funds. And if you store your cryptocurrency in cold storage, you have self-custody wallets. You then run the risks of making sure you're protecting your assets. So you really need to make sure you are doing so. Be incredibly careful when you're online. Use VPNs. Make sure that you are using cold storage wallets whenever you can. Use hardware wallets that are stored offline. These are the best practices for storing your cryptocurrency to run the least amount of risk of getting your cryptocurrency hacked or your wallet hacked. So what you should do, if you do not know where to store your cryptocurrency, is first of all, you should go to the courses section of cryptosavingexpert.com. You should go to the section Crypto 101, which is this one here, and you can find our course, which is called Online Safety. You should read through that. And then what you should do is go to the tab up here, and you should type in hardware wallets. And when you type in hardware here, you will find a news article. If I filter this to news, you can find a news article which shows the best 5 hardware wallets available right now. We also have some discount codes on some of these wallets. If you go over to our Twitter or Instagram right now, you'll be able to find those. I'm going to drop the link to this in today's chat. Before we continue with today's stream, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. I'm going to have a quick drink because it's very hot in this office. Let's see what else is going on here. We have peach and passion fruit sparkling water. Very, very nice there. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Helen says, I like what South Korea is doing. They recognize the potential of crypto, but have also recognized its limitations. Yeah, we are seeing, I mean, they're looking at the industry. They're trying to protect people from the industry, but they are also trying to prevent crime in the cryptocurrency space. Like we should try and prevent crime in every space. I just think it's... Everybody thinks cryptocurrency is used for crime when it's not, and that's what bothers me. But let's continue with the next piece of news and see what else is going on. Well, I wouldn't say it's not. It's the majority of transactions aren't. Let's see what else is going on here. So Fireblocks chosen by Italy's central bank for tokenized assets. The Bank of Italy's Innovation Hub has chosen decentralized finance project Fireblocks to explore digital assets and tokenization. So through Polygon Labs and crypto custodian Fireblocks, the project aims to enable traditional financial institutions to explore DeFi and tokenized assets in a secure and regulated manner in Italy. Now, the idea of tokenized assets is something that I am really, really on board with, and something that I want to be seeing more of in the future. We have seen massive moves for some projects this week, and a lot of conversation around tokenized assets in the media this week. If you have not seen these already, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com and check it out. The best cryptocurrency website out there. Let's see what else is going on here. SEC charges QuantStamp $3.4 million due to $28.35 million ICO raise. So QuantStamp, a prominent blockchain security company, must pay this fine to settle the SEC's charges related to an unregistered initial coin offering. So SEC has managed to win this case here, not a major one in this space. I'll drop this one in the chat. At least they didn't win against XRP in court. I think that really changed the cryptocurrency industry for the long term when they lost that battle last week, and something that we will be discussing for years down the line. Let's see what else is going on here. So US prosecutors want SBF jailed after his fraud trial. So the judge has issued a temporary gag order against Sam Bankman-Fried, the creator of FTX, centralized exchange that went bankrupt in November 2022, amid the detention request. So Manhattan federal prosecutors want SBF thrown behind bars over his recent actions that amounted to witness tampering, New York Post reported on Wednesday. So prosecutors said SBF crossed a line by disclosing the personal writings from his former girlfriend, Caroline Ellison, to New York Times reporters. They claim that SBF's actions were an attempt to discredit Ellison, who was meant to testify against him. Now, what we can see here is that the judge has issued a gag order on SBF, and we can see now SBF remains under house arrest. So the first sort of gag order against SBF for witness tampering, and the lawyers for SBF agreed to comply with the order, but demanded that same restriction to be placed for all witnesses in the trial. We have seen, this case I think is going to be going on for a lot longer. He kind of dropped out of the media for a while though, but it seems that all the media is back. We're talking about SBF pretty frequently on the channel nowadays. Let's see how this all plays out. Let me know in the chat, would you use FTX as an exchange if it relaunched? We have seen the current CEO of FTX saying they've not ruled out the question, and I would like to pose the question to you guys that say no. If you had FTX now, you were the new CEO now, you have all of the bad actors from the centralized exchange removed from the company, and you have the infrastructure to create a fully working centralized exchange with no reason for it to be working incorrectly and no reason to operate incorrectly, would you relaunch the centralized exchange? I think I would do. You have all the infrastructure ready to go. They now have a lot of liquid assets after recouping some of those transactions that SBF improperly made without proper reasoning. They have these liquid funds. They have the infrastructure for a centralized exchange. Why not try again? FTX 2.0. I think they would need a rebrand, but overall, it could be a pretty successful operation there. Let me know if you would use FTX 2.0. Also, before we continue with today's stream, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We've got a couple more stories to go here, and then we'll take a look at the price of Bitcoin, analyze that, and see what is going on. First of all, we have Robert Kennedy Jr. Says he bought Bitcoin for his children. So he bought one every. Where are we going? He bought 2 Bitcoin for every one of his 7 children there. Looking for Bitcoin in the long term, we have already seen that he supports Bitcoin, wants to create crypto-friendly policies, and we've also seen that his administration would back the dollar with hard currencies like Bitcoin to improve financial stability and counter inflation. So he's very much on board with Bitcoin right now, trying to get Bitcoin supporters on board as he tries to get involved there. But we'll have to see how that plays out. Let's continue with the next article here. We have BNB chain's unique addresses increased by 91% in Q2. So the BNB chain continues to exhibit impressive growth despite the regulatory hurdles facing Binance. So Binance chain's unique addresses, so 91% increase in Q2 is very, very impressive here. According to a Masari report, the average number of daily active addresses reached 1.4 million and a 25.6% increment between the first and second quarters of 2023, and this number of active daily addresses almost exceeded the peak value of 1.5 million witnessed around Q4 2021 when the last bull cycle was cooling down. So we can see massive improvements there, and I think what's happened is obviously, we've seen the price of BNB token impacted massively following the regulation in the US, and that is because BNB is heavily incorporated within the centralized exchange. You can use BNB to pay for transactions. You use BNB pretty frequently when you're using the Binance centralized exchange. However, if you remove that out, yes, it could negatively impact the price of BNB. It removes some of that utility, but the actual chain and the tokens on the chain are still pretty impressive. Hennett says in the chat, BNB chain is giving Ethereum the run we all want to see. What's happening is, although BNB as a token itself may lose that side of its utility of being a centralized exchange, the BNB chain still has all of those properties, and it still has BNB still has its use case within that chain. So although people may have stepped away from the token, they won't continue. I believe people will continue to use the chain as a whole. Let's continue to see what else is going on in this article. So Ethereum still dominates in total value locked in DeFi. Despite the impressive matrix of the BNB chain, users of DeFi protocols still prefer to use those on the Ethereum network. Right, interesting question for you guys here. Are you an Ethereum user? Are you a BNB user? Do you use any other Ethereum competitors? And what do you think will be have the highest market cap in 2030? I've got a theory on this one. I think it's going to be Ethereum. And I know that Ethereum doesn't have the fastest transaction speeds. It doesn't have the cheapest transaction fees. However, it has that longevity. It's been around in the space for so long. And I think with that, it's got that title. If you hear people outside of the cryptocurrency space wanting to get into crypto, a lot of them think they're too late to get into Bitcoin, which I would say they're wrong about. However, if they're looking to get into something else, the next token people know about is Ethereum. And that having that exposure to traditional markets is definitely beneficial. And having that name and being on that, having the second biggest market cap in terms of, being the second biggest cryptocurrency in terms of market cap really puts it on a pedestal. And I think that is really, really hard to replace. Ethereum is the longest standing one that has shown its potential, shown that it is resilient, and I think that is something that won't be replaced. However, we can't be certain on this. A new chain might come in that completely blows us away, or people may just start to value their transaction fees more and more and more and decide Ethereum is just not appropriate for day-to-day use. Until we find that out, though, we'll have to wait and see. Let me know in the chat what you think. What's your favorite chain? What do you think could kill Ethereum? Is there ever going to be an Ethereum killer? It's an interesting question. Let's continue with today's stream, though. Before we do, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. We have here blockchain bill passed by House Financial Services Committee. So the House Financial Services Committee made significant progress on cryptocurrency legislation on Wednesday. On Wednesday, lawmakers rallied behind HR 4763, the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act. Where are we getting with this? Both bills will now move to the full House of Representatives for voting in the next phase of the bill being placed into law. So what we can see here, so a clause granting additional authority to the CFTC. Some lawmakers worried this could weaken the consumer protections guaranteed by long-standing US securities laws, potentially leaving investors more vulnerable to fraud. But what we can see is, are we going to see some more clarity on the separation between the CFTC and the SEC when it comes to blockchain? Hopefully, fingers crossed, that is what we are going to get out of this situation. Let's continue on to the next article here. We have already discussed this one. WorldCoin. People have lined up to scan their eyeballs for crypto ID. Now, this is a new project created by one of the co-founders of OpenAI, which has created ChatGPT. And that information and having that co-founder involved in the project has massively created an amount of hype for the project. And I would like to say, having hype around a cryptocurrency project is a key component to having a successful project. However, there has been a lot of people pointing out that the tokenomics of this project aren't great. We've seen Vitalik Buterin, the co-founder of Ethereum, say that it's not great. But with that hype, it's a project you can't avoid on cryptocurrency Twitter right now. Let's see what else is going on in the news quickly. We have already discussed this today. We have seen Mark Zuckerberg say that the metaverse is still a long-term goal, despite $3.7 billion in losses. Even though AI investments are paying off, Metaverse is still the one they're aiming for. I mean, after a rebrand from Facebook to Meta, I think they've got to stick to that one. Let's continue. One last story here. The SEC adopts a proposal for regulating use of AI in markets. So just like cryptocurrency, AI needs regulating in the correct way. There's a lot of opposing opinions right now, and we need to move forward with that regulation. It needs to be clear. It needs to be transparent. It needs to allow the industries to grow, and we need to get it right. So cryptocurrency and AI are in similar situations conditions in that sense. Let's see what else is going on here. 275 days until the Bitcoin halving. This was posted yesterday, so we should now be on 274. 274 until the Bitcoin block reward halves from 6.25 to 3.125, and historically that has caused a price increase for Bitcoin in the long term. But what does it mean now? Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin now and see what is in store. We've got some smashing information today. So what are we going to see here? We have got a higher high and a higher low on the price of Bitcoin on the daily chart. We have not yet broken this uptrend of what we are seeing here. So you can see that we are still above this most recent local low, which is at 24.8, and we would have to break that point to see a break in this uptrend. Now, do we think this is likely? Because we have a level of support which we've bounced 3 times now, and that is currently sat at $27,700. Now this, I think, is going to act as a very strong support here. And what we also have is we only need to break 31.8 to really see a rally, in my opinion. If we move to the bigger time frames, if we take a look at the weekly chart, for example, let's move straight out here. You can see that the current price range, the range that we are in right now, was a very crucial range in the price of Bitcoin during the previous bull market. So what you can see here is between the $28,800 level and this one here, which I'm actually going to choose here at $32,300. That's a crucial level. It was used as a support in the previous bull market, and so is this point here. So between that range, that $28,800 range and the $32,300 range, that's a crucial point. If we manage to break above that point, I'll be feeling so bullish. But until then, we could see this battle go on for quite a while. Now, we are still within this range, but we need to get up above it. And another thing I'm expecting to see is some sideways action. And I know people don't want to hear that. I was saying Bitcoins are like to a stable coin right now, but I do still think we've got more sideways action within us. Let's go back to that article a second. We have 274 days until the next Bitcoin halving. So until then, if history is going to repeat itself and we're not going to see a new all-time high until 2 or 3 months after the Bitcoin halving, well, that means that we are going to see some more sideways action. Now, this may be wrong. We may be seeing some things change. We might see the markets change, the cycles change. But in my opinion, I like to look at what's happened previously and reflect that on what's happening right now. Sideways action might be in store. We might see the amount of hype in the markets die down a little bit following that massive increase at the start of the year, but it doesn't mean cryptocurrency is over. We need to stay on the news, stay up to date with what's going on in the space, because when things kick off, we'll be the ones here on these live streams every single day, updated and very knowledgeable about the space, ready to start that next move to the upside. Make sure, if you have not already, to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. Also, make sure to tune in to these live streams every single weekday. That is all we have for today, so thank you very much for tuning in as always, and I will see you all back here tomorrow. So goodbye and thank